The StellaVita companion app just got its biggest update to date. I got early access to it, and we're gonna take a look at it today. Hello ladies and gentlemen, by the time this video is published, the version 2 of the StellaVita app has been launched. I'm recording this beforehand as TubeTech has been kind enough to give me early access to take a quick look at the app. That also means that the version you are seeing here is the beta test, so if it's not 100% what you're seeing when it's launched, then keep that in mind. As you can see, this is very different from what we're used to. I haven't been playing around with it a lot, so we're just gonna go and explore this together. The first thing I'm noticing is the corner wheel down here, which seems to be able to put you into different modes. So for instance, let's say I want to control my mount. You know what, actually, maybe we should try to connect my mount first. So gear icon, yeah. Mount, yeah. UMI already detected, turn on. Oh, come on. Editing Astro here. Since I recorded this video, TubeTech has already released another update to the app that actually fixes the issues that I have here with the mount. And I tested it just before I started editing, and now my mount connects without issue. So the issues you see me have here in the video with connecting is already solved. Okay, I'm just rebooting my mount, and while it's doing that, let's go and play around with the other things here. So it has detected my guide camera, but it has not yet detected my... So it detected my main camera. So let's see here. Can we connect to that? We can connect to that. Great. Okay, and we have all the usual controls we would expect here for the guide camera. We have the focal length. We can set that there. Whoops. We can control the gain with the preset values. Yeah, that works too. Exposure time, binning, offset. What is the offset? Adjust this value to prevent the histogram from clipping. Image. Okay, so this is just if you want to offset the... Okay, makes sense. Multi-start guiding can be turned on and off if you want to. And we haven't set up our mount yet, so we probably don't have access to all these aggressiveness and the minimum move, like the step size and all that. We have access to those in here as well. Everything, calibration step, dithering controls, advanced settings. What do we have in here? Okay, the advanced settings is not doing anything right now. I assume, again, as I said, beta version of the app, so we are expected that there's going to be a few things that doesn't really necessarily is fully working yet. I would really like to see if I can get a connection to either my mount or to my main camera. I think I know why I can't see my camera. I bet that the power ports on the side have not been turned on. Yeah, there we go. Okay, here we go. Okay, that's the issue. Yeah, now I can hear device connected. Yeah, okay, so power for my... That's probably, yeah, see, there we go. Now it just detected the camera right away. I'm wondering, we're still having the same issue with the mount, but the camera is now connected as we expect. I can hear the fan now running, so I just needed to turn it on. But we have all the controls in here that we would expect. Filter wheel, there we go, connected right away, and it even got all the settings remembered from last time, so that looks pretty good. Exposure times now per filter. This is really nice. I'm really curious what they're going to use the advanced settings for. Oh, that's kind of nice. You can set a home position for the focuser. So if you know a specific focus point where you know you're going to be at least very close to being in perfect focus. Again, they can vary slightly based on temperature and all those kind of things. But having a home position for your focuser is actually quite a nice feature that I really like. You can reverse the direction of the focuser if you want to. Okay, pretty cool. And in the StellaVita itself, we have access to, of course, Wi-Fi settings. We have access to the individual controls. What's in the power settings here? Oh, okay, so we can give it... So the first one, let's say that is, I don't know, mount, maybe. And the second one is main camera. And let's say that this one over here is a dew heater. Oh, flat panel heater band. Here we go. And if I turn that on, I can now control... I can put auto power on here, but I wonder how that slider, if I go custom, I call this my test. I don't seem to have access to that slider. I really hope that's something they're going to fix, because that's actually quite neat. We can preset the power levels for the different devices. I'm going to turn off that port again. Okay, so overall, settings looks pretty good. We have default, we can set that to the SD card. There we go, that is a image. There's a bit of noise and dust here, but we could of course then try to plate solve it. What does this do? Oh, okay, so we get access to additional, okay, so we have, oh, that's actually quite neat. I like this. So look at this. A lot of the settings, like we have a lot of the settings we saw in here before in the main menu. If we drag out here, I'll try to do that again. There. We have some of the like most commonly used settings in here. We can see the current location of the mount. We can set the guide rate, the scopes, like main settings with the focal length. So just like the most commonly used settings are just available in here. That's really, really neat. I like that a lot. And just having that, you know, at your fingertips, so you don't have to go and sit and play around with the more advanced menus in here. I think that's a really cool addition. What do those 3 dots do there? Okay, that just shows that it is cooling down. And if we press that, what about the icon here in the corner? Looks weird. Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so when you're starting up the device for the first, or when you connect it up for the first time, or when you're starting up for the night, and you don't want to have to go into the settings and go through each of these manually, that means you can just basically click the icon up here, and then you can just turn on and off the different devices as you see fit. That's quite neat. I like that. That means basically these settings, you go in, you set these once, you never touch them again, because from that point on, you should be able to just go in here and turn it on. The mount still doesn't work, but you get my point. That's quite neat. I like that. Okay, let's see what else we have over here on the other side. We have this wheel down here at the bottom. So we can open that up and go into mount. So I guess now, of course, our mount is not here, but looks like we're going to be able to basically control our mount, have a little like numpad or a little like arrow key so we can move the mount around. We also have access to the polar alignment in here, which obviously I can't do for multiple reasons. First, mount is not connecting. Secondly, I'm indoors. Focusing, we have access to focus, or we can, ooh, is this like a scroll? Oh, ooh, I like that. Oh, that's actually quite neat. Okay, well done, I like that one. Now it's moving. We can ask it to stop wherever it is. Okay, cool, I like that. Guiding. Oh, there we go. Okay, it gives us access to just some basic guiding. Oh, look at that. When we went into guiding, it automatically swapped over to our guide camera. We can see up here that we got over to another interface. Oh, look at that as well. Like when I go into the guide mode here on the little control wheel at the bottom, look at the horizontal icons here on top. There, they change. So when you click the guiding, it automatically goes into some kind of guide mode, where we now have access. Of course, we're going to be able to see the error graphs. We're probably going to be able to do, I don't know what RA and deck correction does, but that's interesting. We're going to be able to see all that in there, control the gain of the guide scope. Oops. Probably the exposure time for the guide scope. All that is done in here. We can probably recalibrate it. And that's also a really nice thing. You can see here that it's grayed out, but a recalibrate button. That was something I really didn't like in the previous interface, that I was like spending, I don't know how much time before I realized there was a recalibrate button, because it was a long press, but now it's moved out to be a dedicated button. I like that. Okay, let's just play around with the menu over here on the left side. We got a scatter diagram. Okay, so that basically is going to show us like how much movement we have in the RA and deck. That's quite unique, and you can basically get a feeling for whether you are just moving a lot in one direction. It's basically giving you the same information as the graph would, but it's just another way of looking at it. I kind of like that. Okay, we can turn on and off the graph at the bottom. We can turn on and off the star profile view up there at the top, and where we can see the peak value, the full width, half max. Okay, that's cool. And calibration, you can turn that on. Okay, cool. Then we have below the wheel here. Actually, let's just see. Okay, so when you are in the main camera mode, you can also turn on like a smaller version of the... Yeah, you can turn on a smaller version of the guiding one. Star signal, noise ratio, star mass, scatter diagram. Okay, so you can basically choose what you want to see. If you want to see guide curves or scatter diagrams. Okay, basic controls. Again, that you have the basic controls available at your fingertips, but you have also the option to go into deeper menus if you really want to tinker with it. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, histogram. Not a lot of fancy stuff here. It's a histogram. It does a little bit of auto stretching on our images. Crosshair. That's a crosshair. Do we have any control over the crosshair? No, I don't think so, but could be used for basic collimation, I guess. Star detect. Okay, so no stars detected. That's fair. But it says detecting and computing star sizes. So I guess that kind of detects your seeing. Kind of. Guess that would be what that's for. Last button down here on the wheel turns us into the atlas. So okay, I can set a target angle. That's pretty neat. Yeah, so you can see here when I'm off, when the axis is off where it's supposed to be, it probably turns blue, and I would assume then it turns green as we're getting closer. We then get like in the Stellarium kind of landscape. Yeah, you do. Oh, look at that. Okay, so you can, if you want to get a feeling for, I wonder if you can upload your own landscapes in here. That would be really cool if that's something you could do. Like have your own, just like you can do in Stellarium. Upload your own landscapes here so you could actually see what the telescope would be able to see. That would be next level. I like that. We can turn on the equatorial grid if we want to. Okay, cool. Compass. Oh, okay, so now, as I turn the tablet, it's kind of moving that around as well if I want to use it for that. Okay, we have below the wheel here at the bottom, we have one that's called sign, recording. Oh, okay, I get it. I think recording, main camera record, I guess sync should probably be, I think they need to change that a little bit, because I guess it's gonna say single something, single shot, single whatever. Rec is probably recording, and plan mode takes us obviously into the plan where we can now go in and set up our capture plan. So I could select a target. Let's call this one, I don't know. And we could probably select it from a star library if you wanted to. Yeah. You can have your own favorites lists if you want that. That's a nice history if you want to see previous that you've been shooting. Messier catalog. If we just wanted to find it in here in the Messier catalog, we have access to that. 31, there it is. Can we then just click it? Boom, and then check mark. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and then it puts in the RA in the deck. Start delay, slew to target, auto centering, automatically starting guiding, stop guiding upon finish, autofocus on start, autofocus on filter change, autofocus on temperature change, and then we can set a temperature delta, timed autofocus, so we can also, I've never seen that before. So you can set a timed autofocus, like every 2 hours you just autofocus automatically. Stop guiding doing autofocus. Yeah, okay, that's just the plan settings. Tasks. We can probably go in and say, yeah, this is light frames, set the gain, choose the filter. So if we wanted to take 10 pictures, exposure time, 60 seconds, binning 1, luminance channel, interval time. So if you wanted a gap in between, and then we just set up multiple filters, you can set up flat, biases, and darks. That's nice as well, I like that. Okay, that's one of the things that I had a hard time with in the previous version of the app, is I could not figure out how to delete a target from it. Okay, you swipe to the side. Okay, not the most intuitive way to do it, but okay, it works. I guess what I wanted to try and do was to go in and add another target. Does this then change if I take this and I move it? Can I change the order? I don't know if I can. I can of course select and deselect which targets I actually want to shoot. But if I want to shoot one and then the other in the other, it feels like those, like that burger menu should do that. But it doesn't. Okay. I hope that's something that would be nice to be able to actually move them around in the plan so that you can change that up. Okay, so overall, I think the app has become a lot more intuitive to use. And I really like their focus on having deep menus with a lot of settings if you really want to go in and set up, but also that you have the most commonly used features available in quick menus all around the interface, so that you can just quickly go and change the most common settings very, very quickly without having to dive into those really deep, detailed menus. I think that's a nice balance between the two. One thing I'm also curious about is this whole advanced settings button we saw at the bottom that this right now doesn't do anything. I have a feeling that what they might have done now is just put all the settings out in the main part of the interface, but that maybe in the future they're going to take some of the more obscure settings, put them in under advanced, so you have different tiers of how advanced you want the settings to be if you want to. Again, I've been sitting now playing around with settings and setting up plans and everything for half an hour, and it's been like rock solid. So I really hope that with this update that we're going to see some more stability come with the app, because that has been one of the main issues I've had with it in the past. Now, I think overall they made the interface a lot more intuitive. There are still a few things I would like to see, especially in the plans. The swiping to delete wasn't super intuitive me to start with. Of course, when you learn, then it's easy, but some other ways of maybe, you know, when you're in the plan and you select them, then just have a trash icon, so you select them once you want and then click the trash, and then maybe a confirmation that you're sure you want to delete, and then just delete them like that. I think it's more intuitive than having to hide features behind swipes and long presses and stuff like that. It's not always intuitive when you look at it, but overall, think really, really cool, cool update. Massive improvements to the old app. But again, both because I'm curious and I'm sure TubeTech is as well. What do you guys think? Like, post in the comment section. Do you like this layout better than what we had with the previous version of the app? Are there things you would like to see changed or improved upon? Again, comment section below, because I'll promise you TubeTech is probably going to be reading them. But I'm just manually going to go and find the correct driver for this. Oh, here we go, look at that. There's actually one down here that's called UMI. Whereas the StellaVita from TubeTech is open. It's not brand locked. You can put pretty